at that light behind me, right? This is not an effect. That's so funny. I don't know why there's light on my shoulders like that, other than just maybe where the sun is through the clouds. But ain't that look beautiful? I'll take that. In any case, I'm here at a park where almost 24 months ago, we had some of our first minute, my DM and I, my Cabbit. I've decided to make this a love letter to my Cabbit. Because I miss doing those. Those were funny and they were fun. Although, I think I'm going to mix it up and maybe not talk just about myself. I don't know. But what I do know is that I decided to come and do some laundry. We've had a friend that's been letting us do some at her place, but it's a little bit challenging, schedule-wise mostly. And timing, things like that, the dryer and whatnot. So, decided to take my DM, Cabbit, Rudybugs, advice, and go to his favorite laundromat in Granite Falls. Tiny Bubbles. Oh, that's funny. Look at this on the ground. There's a pentacle and an anarchy symbol, of course. And I'm thinking about how, like, I remember after I first told him to go, you take your messy manifestations away from my beautiful ones. And it's funny because just recently in a conversation between him and our oldest, he had said something like, your mom told me I had earned the right to move out. Isn't he adorable? Like, I did say that too. I had to double check it sometime ago. It was about a year ago. I was like, I did say that. That is something that I would say rather than half a dozen things that most pirates would say. I said, no, you've earned the right to move out because you're being immature. You're not being your divine masculine self. At this, divine feminine's got shit to do. You know what I mean? It was probably one of the hardest things in my life to tell him to go, make him go. He did not want to go. But anyways, he went, but he was, being his watery, cancery self and being very emotional and having a bit of a tantrum and wanted to kind of escape back into the world of the pirates. And I said, no, you don't. We have children together. And, I mean, we don't have to be together for you to have a good relationship with them, and you need to work on it anyways. And I wanted to work on my relationship with our kids, too. So after we did some uncoupling counseling, we agreed to meet. And we started meeting. And at this point in time, too, he was in hotels all over the place trying to rescue a bunch of pirates and things like that. And which I feel bad because I know his big, beautiful heart. He really believed it. He really thought that being told the truth that she uses guys pretty much, like, uses sex to use guys to get things instead of working or being a kind person as part of a community or any number of infinite other options that you could use if you really don't want to work and be independent. But they were in and out of the hotels, and he really believed it. And one of the things I feel bad about is that I know he genuinely meant to help them. Like, he would not abandon his boys or for nothing, none of his kids or nothing, unless he really thought that it was detrimental. And being wrapped up in his own emotions, it's a thing. We all get there. But we decided to meet at this park, a little park in Granite Falls. And it's funny because then he said, but it's cold. Can we go to the bus across the way? So we went there instead. And I laughed because I still remember my plan in that beginning time was like, you need to spend time with the kids. But in his immature mind, it was, I want to spend time with you, which wasn't false. I did want to spend time with him. I was very worried about him too, but I wasn't in a space of like, come back to me, we need to spend time together. And the boys and I guess I'm not smoking right now, which is a good thing. I've been trying to work on not smoking. The boys and I remember that because I had told them both, like, I'm going to stay in the car. This is time for you to have with your dad, unless he invites me in 3 times. And if it's 3 times, I will accept it as an invitation. I will go in. But I'm going to stick to my book or my journal or something. I'm going to stay off the phone because that's not good manners. But of course, my DM, my Cabbit, my Rudy Bug, he wanted to spend most of the time talking with me, telling me about the circusry going on. And I was not so good with my boundaries of being like, aren't you your kids? Because I liked it too. And slowly that graduated into the summer months, the spring and summer, and we did start coming to this park. So many things. So many different things. And then the irony is one of the last moments before like separation deepened because this karmic had just an incredible amount of insecurities. Like I stuck to focusing on the kids. My DM would get emotional in his beautiful cancery ways, and I would talk about it to a certain degree. But I am very smart, and also I did and do genuinely want him to have a better relationship with his kids. That's part of his karma. You know, like a lot of the cycles that went on in his family and them before them and all the pirates that he's wrapped it up in, it's people being shitty to kids. And then those kids growing up and being shitty to their kids. You know what I mean? Just continual cycles of it. And I genuinely want that. Like, if you think about it, like even if there was even with space for us, like twin flame relationship stuff, what good is it if there isn't healthy relationship between us and the kids? Like, what's the point of it? Like, to me, it's selfish just to look at and say, oh, but relationship this, relationship have kids. Why do you bring them into the world? And if you decide to keep kids that you had unplanned, why? You know, why just to tell them, oh, well, deal with the cruddy situation and any sort of abuse because we put a roof over your head, or life ain't fair, or shit like that. Like, no, those are cycles that need to end. They need, you know, and they are really. Like, I haven't noticed the uprising of children's energy going on around the world. Like, it's happening. But I remember there was a weird moment. One of the last times we were at this park. Well, not we, actually. I did not go. Because there was this weird thing that happened to where suddenly his karmic wanted to come to everything. And it just seemed like odd timing. I wasn't opposed to it, but she had refused to do anything along the lines of healthy boundaries with almost anything. And of course, my DM was being immature and just placating and then trying to be mad at me because I'm more mature and understand that it's immaturity on their end. But then all of a sudden, she wanted to go to everything. She wanted to go to our youngest son's birthday party, which I allowed. Really, in fact, it was really disrespectful the way that she invited herself, and then my DM went to that. It should have been a request. But I knew I was dealing with immaturity, so I just said, okay, like, I can't control, though, how anyone else will feel about her behavior. I'm not even going to try. I'm not going to be that codependent hostess that's like, oh, don't mind her, this and this and that. No, you are responsible for your own behaviors, your own actions, your own stuff. My DM said, that's fine. That's fine. I don't care. All right. Let's just say that that karmic left a not so great impression on most everyone. And it was not helped by my DM being completely immature, too, because he should have been that gracious hostess for the person that he was bringing. It didn't happen. And then all of a sudden they wanted to do a meeting here with everybody in. And something like my spirit team was shouting at me, like, do not go. But let the kids go if they want to go. And I'm not sure, I kind of have mixed feelings about the fact that I did say yes to that. But I took it in stride and I thought, you know, as much as I would like it to be perfectly mature and good for the kids, if I hold this like strict policy of never starting over, of never giving other chances and things like that, how am I any better than the pirates, right? And I was talking with someone who was a friend at the time, or at least I thought was a friend at the time. I found a way to say yes and no at the same time. So I let the kids go. My DM traveled like cities to pick them up and take them here and pick up the circus and take them there and do all this stuff. And at the end of the day, what really pissed me off is that it was built up as a day that he was going to spend time with his boys, with our boys. And I didn't mind that being shared with the new people, but it ended up being that he and the karmic just sat the whole time, and like any time that my boys wanted to talk with their dad, she was all over him and emasculating him all over the place while they were eating. And I tried to have a talk with him after that and say, look, whatever you guys want to do in your private space, fine. But that's not healthy in front of the kids. And, you know, we have 2 boys who are learning how to be men. And that example is not acceptable. And you don't like it either. Like, half the questions that the boys asked me afterwards was about, why does dad let himself be treated that way? We can tell he does not like it. And how do I explain that? You know what I mean? I did find ways, but at the time, it was like, I don't want to have to be having that conversation with our kids when it's a simple matter of self-discipline and healthy boundaries. You have them for all of an hour or so. Can't you make it about them for at least that amount of time? Isn't that, isn't having kids about helping them become their own person? Helping show them that you love them, that you appreciate them, that you enjoy their company? At least some of the things that having kids are about, I would have thought. And I remember too, as both my kids had said when they came here that day, the whole area was trashed. Now, when I take my boys to a park and we see that it's trashed, do you know what we do? We find some plastic bags from the car and we pick up garbage and we throw it away. Because, no, you don't just wait till the government does it. That's what creates corrupt governments. No, you don't wait until the city workers do it. No, you don't wait till someone else does it. You be a good person to the earth and to yourself, and you pick that shit up. And it really colored just the whole situation of it, and there was no more meetups in Granite Falls after that. It really made me laugh too, because my idea of picking, the buzzing out here in the park out here, it's because he still has connections to his first karmic, his first wife, who grew up out here. And it kind of made me laugh because, like, while he was figuring things out with the new situation, my phone is low, so if it dies, I'll see you guys in the next video. He was still dealing with stuff like that. And I didn't want to be that I told you so person, so I kept most of my knowledge of the data to myself. But I did tell him at one point, I said, you realize this karmic that you're with now is a repeat of your first karmic, completely. And even in your subconscious mind, you're picking spaces to be close to that whole relationship because you didn't heal some things in it. And that's why I had to tell you, you earned the right to move out, to go figure that shit out. In any case, y'all, thank you for sending prayers up my DM, to me, to our boys, and to all these areas that we've been a part of and been touched by and touched, and so much touching. I think I'll probably come on and do another video when my phone is charged up, more about the energies for everybody in the collective, but this was just my nice little moment to reminisce about the funny story of us as it goes on. I know it's going to be significant later, but I'm not sure how. Until then, we're just going to enjoy taking dad/DM's advice. Use the showers and the laundry at the local laundromat here, where I got to meet the owner too. She's quite nice. All right, y'all. You have a wonderful day.